Buhari wants to hand over to PDP. Here is how. Welcome to the news, and please subscribe to our channel. After 4 weeks of delay, confusion, and indecisiveness, President Muhammadu Buhari finally refused on Monday to sign the Electoral Amendment Bill, citing a raft of reasons which took him so long to improvise. You could clearly guess he wanted the cup to pass over him. But every leader must at some point face their demon. President Olusegun Obasanjo was in a similar position 20 years ago when he refused to sign the NDDC bill on the grounds of a disagreement with the National Assembly over what percentage of statutory allocation the commission should get. That he wants to hand over to the PDP. Oh, you think so? No. For instance, let me say this. It is not even possible that that is what he wants to happen. As that man is concerned, he has finished, he has served his tenure. He is not going to be as active as usual in politics. Sincerely. Just like Obasanjo, will you hear him come out to say things? Of course he will not. He was the president of Nigeria. He has done his, he have fulfilled, he has ticked that his bucket list. For some people, that is just it. They come, let me tick it. They take the bucket list and that is it. So I don't think he is going to say for any reason at all. No. He will also want his people to come in. I do not know what is even making, them say this or that. But let's find out more. Now the news in detail. While he proposed 10% and a reduction of the annual budget of the oil and gas companies from 3 to 1.5%, the National Assembly wanted 15% statutory allocation to NDDC and 3% from the companies. In the end, the former president was overridden by National Assembly with his own party, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in majority. In spite of a huffling and puffing by the current All Progressive Congress-dominated APC National Assembly, it is improbable that they must muster the will or even the numbers to override Buhari. What is the sticking point in the Electoral Amendment Bill? There are a few, but the obvious one is the provision in the bill for mandatory direct primaries by the political parties. Under the law, the parties may choose their candidate through direct or indirect primaries or even by voodoo executed in the coven by some party godfathers. This latter option is elegantly called consensus. Things fell apart between members of the National Assembly who want a statutory end to the indirect primaries because they say it is undemocratic and largely liable to manipulation, and governors who say mandating primaries for parties is undemocratic and expensive. The governors have captured the president, and against the public mood, his refusal to assent to the bill was full of excuses that hide the truth in plain sight. It is a shocking Christmas present from a man who, after being a victim of a shambolic electoral process that thwarted his election 3 times, vowed after his success at a 4th attempt to leave a legacy of free, fair, and transparent elections. If Buhari's refusal was a PDP cause, then they have got him. And if it's a trap by insiders in his party with a vested interest in his failure, that is even worse, as they have failed to give him even a fig leaf shred of argument to cover his weak and naked excuses. How could Buhari say he withheld assent because of cost, for example? Cost to who? The parties and not the government are responsible for primaries, even though the parties have made it a bazaar of sorts, which is precisely what governors want because they hold the wallet. It is not the government's business to pay, organize party primaries. Rank and file members who are truly fed up with eating out of the hands of governors should organize themselves and put their money, time, and talent where their mouth is, to wrest the parties from governors and take back control. It is not Buhari's job to save the parties. And in case he was talking about the cost of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, conducting the primaries, he said nothing about what the current cost is, never mind the expected revised cost. It is regrettable that the president, interested in making a serious argument for not assenting to a vital public legislation, did not have the courage to show the public what INEC actual feedback on cost was. weeks after he claimed seeking the Commission's advice on the matter. And he's right about something, though. The parties, including his own, have dubious membership registers. So how can we be afraid of something we don't even know, something we are not even sure of? Conjecture is not evident. The argument about security did not make sense either. If anything, it is only an indictment of Buhari, who was voted principally to secure the country. It also hints that the president is living such a deplorable legacy of insecurity. He does not even see things getting better long after he is gone. That is a blow to the reputation of a man in whom so much hope was placed for a more stable and secure country 6 years ago. And yet, he makes the argument so casually that he cannot see that he himself is undermining himself. That is not all. Buhari said he was withholding assent because to sign the bill in its current form would infringe the right of choice of citizens and the political parties. Citizens, he said, specifically party members, should be free to choose their candidates any way they want. Why put them in a straitjacket? Also, the parties under their present titles have greater discretion of choice and should not be tempted with any other options that might lead to needless litigations. That sounds really seductive. The sort of argument a philanderer espouses before he finds his next victim. It won't hurt, trust me, it is for your good, but it ends in premium tears. To pretend that the current system is a voter carte blanche is to be disingenuous. Choice is already circumscribed by the Constitution and the Electoral Act, and they later permit selection through one of three means: direct or indirect primaries or voodoo. The strongest argument for mandating only direct primaries is that it vests the decision for the selection of candidates in the rank and file. And why not? If they are prepared to invest in the system, and if CSOs are also prepared to help build a culture of voluntarism to strengthen the democratic culture. Even though a number of National Assembly members who favor direct primaries do so out of spite for state governors, the system offers far greater guarantee of transparency and fair competition than does the current model. But the emptiness of Buhari's argument does not end with its self-serving pretension that it seeks to defend voters' rights. It also claims that it wants to save smaller parties from the logistical nightmare of direct primaries. Well, this Salvation Army is coming rather late. This writer is very creative. On this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. And until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.